Hello everyone and welcome to Sinful Gaming. I hope you're all doing well, I hope you're all staying safe, and most of all, I hope you're all fighting that war against the grey. Today, we're going to chat, or let's talk about rather, army composition in Age of Sigmar 3rd edition. There's been some leaks that have hit and we've started to see sort of how the new edition is looking with army composition, so I thought we'd have a little bit of chat about it, what it's changed in the game, how it's going to change how armies look in the future, and sort of just what it means in general. And just have my own thoughts and my own ideas of what it can do for the game. So, without further ado, let's get cracking in, and what we'll do is we'll start looking at exactly what army composition is in the new game. Alright, so before we look into organisation and like the force org sort of chart for the edition, I think something we really need to have a look at and a chat about at least a few couple of extra rules. So, first of all, no unit can cost more than half your army's total points. Now, what they've done as well is they have added in additional points values to play in. They've added in a 750 point value, which I think is great for getting brand new people into the game, and also 1500 points, which has been a point value that a lot of people I know have enjoyed, but it's not really had its own proper supported level of play, and now it's got that. So you've now got 750, 1000, 1500, 2000, but then you do lose 2-5 and go straight to 3000. Maybe that's a sign to come of like the point increases that people are rumoring that are coming, so maybe that's going to be a thing there. But with that, depending on what points you're playing, you cannot have a model or any unit rather that can be more than half the points of your total force. So for example, most of the large characters like Nagash for example now cannot fit into 1500 point games. You would need to be playing 2000 point games. The other massive change here is reinforced units. So you are limited to an amount of reinforced units, as we'll look in the sort of army composition in a second, but let's talk about what a reinforced unit is. So all units are bought at their minimum size. This is considered a non-reinforced unit in the game. Alright, so those units that are not reinforced are known as single units, and this is your minimum size. Now, what you can do is you can take a certain amount of reinforced units in your armies, and each unit's single can only be reinforced once. So a unit of, say, let's pick a non-battle line unit, let's say Rat Ogres. They are non-battle line in Skaven with some clan rats, alright? You take 2 Rat Ogres and then you can reinforce them once and make 4 Rat Ogres. However, battle line units can be reinforced up to twice. So this means, say example, those same Rat Ogres, if you are playing pure clan Molder, they become battle line, can go up to 6 models. Which is pretty cool, and is a really massive and interesting change to the game. I think this is going to make, your core troops really effective. This is definitely going to have some advantages for some armies, like say Cities of Sigmar, where there's just a plethora of battle line options and different ways you can twist your army to get those battle line options. Or things like Iron Jaws within the entire army. In fact, I don't know an Iron Jaws army other than characters that isn't battle line, so that is what it is. Which is another really cool army for this. But then you have armies which have very limited battle lines, say like Caradron Overlords, where their only core battle line is the Archanaut Company, and they're having to bend things to get other battle line in there, and there's particularly not a lot of other things to get battle line in your troops, so that's certainly something to think about. But that's reinforced units, so you can have a certain amount of these. A reinforced unit is a unit that's taken more than its base number of times, and you can have a certain amount of these. And a unit can be reinforced once or twice if it's a battle line unit. So that creates some interesting sort of dynamics to the game. They've announced that, well, apparently they've said that all like max unit restrictions are going in the rules that are out. So with all that sort of chatter there though, let's get looking at the actual force organization chart. And what we're going to do is we're just going to look at the 2000 point force organization chart, and I'll sort of reference off that on like how that sort of increases and decreases, just because that is the generic one people sort of play. Alright, and so here we have a look at what we've seen for the 2000 points organization. Now this goes up 1 or 2 either way, depending whether you go to 3k or play at 1500. But for 2000 points, 1 in 4 leaders, 3 plus battle line, 0 to 4 behemoths and artilleries, and 0 to 3 endless spells. This is all stuff we've previously had in our 2000 point force organization. Nothing here has changed at all. However, reinforced units come into here, and there are 0 to 4. Now, reinforced units, now the way apparently this is working is every time you reinforce a unit, you use one of these slots. So if you reinforce something twice, it takes 2 of your 0 to 4. That's not been confirmed by anything. We haven't actually seen that rule on a piece of paper, but that is how it's looking and how everyone is saying it's working, so that's worth consideration. Now, understrength units, 0 to 1, cool. Allies, same as it always was. And minimum battlefield size, 44 by 60. So this is the 4 Warcry boards stuck together. And then we've also got a minimum number of terrain pieces for 8. I think this is great for that sort of size of board. I'm thinking like 4 and 4. I'm going to do a couple of layouts and see how I like to play with it. But this is definitely something really cool. But yeah, the reinforced units are where this is interesting. I think this changes up a ton of armies and how they work. And gives great use to some armies that have like minimum unit size 20. So things like Grots, Skaven, and Zombies definitely are big winners of this because they become great screens even without having to reinforce, because they are that. But on the same side, there's a lot of armies that lose out. Like, I'm glad when I just painted up my Wildwood Rangers and I didn't actually go for a unit of 30 in any of them and just went for a couple of units of 20. Unit of 10, so I've not used up all my reinforcement points there. The Wanderer's Army I don't actually think has to change because it's using up 3. It's actually got 1 spare of its reinforcement points, which we'll probably get back thanks to all the stuff that's coming with battalions going and stuff like that. And we'll get a look at battalions another time when we've got the full list of everything they can bring to the table, because it's still a little bits of information like that some of the battalions give us that we don't really know about yet. But battalions, cool battalions that look really fun and really interesting, and I'd really love to know everyone's thoughts though on force organization. What do you think of reinforced units? I think this is going to change the game up for the better. It's really going to make those elite units seem like elite units. It's going to really pay well to focusing down particular ways with your battle line units. It's obviously removing battalions out of the game as well. And I will say the endless spells part also includes judgments or any permanent things. So things like the Judgments of Khorne, the Fireslayer runic empowerment things that they do, all that sort of stuff, that's all in Endless Spells 0 to 3. So let us know what you think in the comments below of all this though. I'd be really interested to hear everyone's thoughts on this army composition here. Well, thank you all for watching the video. We hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to the channel if you have not already. Also, while you're at it, why not come chat more with us on Discord? We've got a link in the description of the video below to our Discord server. You can come chat with me and other members of our fine little community here at Sinful Gaming. Lastly, we'd like to give a shout out to everyone who helps support the channel in various different ways. First of all, to our Patreon members, Christian Weir, James Soren, Chaos Spawn, AJC, Kenny Lowe, Outer and Shot First, James Crowder, Andrew Bowen, Nathan Fee, Tim Newman, The Rising Ape, Cure Dynamic, Agu, Anthony B, MJ, and Dyna226. Thank you to, as well, our YouTube members, Green Roots Gaming, Fire Titan, Steve T, The Real Zeot, Chris Wallace, Turriot12, Vinny, and Loch Lorick. And a special thanks to our artist who does all the channel art for us, Lady Witchfox Art, thank you very much. And to our Discord moderator, Xmorphic, you do a fantastic job on Discord for us as well. Thank you all, everyone, for watching. If you'd like to help support on Patreon or YouTube member or help support the channel in another way, you can do so by following one of the links in the description of the video to Patreon or YouTube members, or go buy some Sinful Gaming merch from our Teespring store, also linked in the video's description. That's it for today, everyone. Thank you again. Stay safe, stay well, and most of all, keep fighting that war against the grey. Ciao for now.